7 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. The views and opinions expressed in this video and on UME Radio YouTube channel are those of the host and or the guests and do not necessarily reflect the opinion of UME Radio YouTube channel.
Let's talk
relationships on UME Radio.
Are you ready for the weekend?
Weekends on UME Radio. Get the UME Radio app.
Weekends on UME Radio. The sun is up and so are we. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at UME Radio.
UME Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7. Subscribe on YouTube and click the notification bell.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Weekend Show. Good morning, and thanks for joining us on the Weekend Show, where we share stories, engage in conversations, and gain insight into issues affecting our communities in New York, the Caribbean, and Africa. We're looking forward to a great show today. We want to say a big thank you to all of our partners, subscribers, supporters, listeners, and viewers from all over the world. This is your weekly roundup, informative, transformative content, and intriguing stories to inspire you. We will introduce you to thought leaders, movers and shakers, and people with powerful stories, and this season promises to be even better than before. We have a new, talented, smart, experienced, and purpose-driven panel of hosts that will amplify positive voices and bring you useful information to motivate and move you. Remember to subscribe, like, share, click the notification bell when we go live so you know when we upload a new video. Now, in case you missed any of our episodes, get the UME Radio app at app.umeradio.com to listen or watch this on any of our other episodes. You can also listen to UME Radio on all major digital platforms. This includes Apple App Store, Google Play Store, iTunes, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Google, Podbean, TuneU, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, Listen Notes, CarVision TV, and at UME Radio on Connected TV. Again, welcome to the Weekend Show. Let's go to our Daily Bread devotional, and when we come back, I will fill you in on what's coming up on today's show. Lord, we thank you for today, and we thank you for this moment in time.
Hey, it's time for a word of encouragement from your friends at Our Daily Bread. The devotional writer for today is Marvin Williams, and he's titled today's reading, He Fills the Empty. Psychologist Madeline Levine noticed the 15-year-old girl's cutter disguise, a long-sleeve t-shirt pulled halfway over her hand, commonly used by people who engage in self-harm. When the young girl pulled back her sleeve, Levine was startled to find that the girl had used a razor to carve the word empty on her forearm. She was saddened, but also grateful the teen was open to receiving the serious help she desperately needed. The teen in some ways represents many people who've carved the word empty on their hearts. John wrote that Jesus came to fill the empty and to offer life to the full. God placed the desire for a full life in every human being, and He longs for people to experience a loving relationship with Him. But He also warned them that the thief would use people, things, and circumstances to attempt to ravage their lives. The claims each made to give life would be counterfeit and an imitation. In contrast, Jesus offers what's true, eternal life, and the promise that no one will snatch us out of His hand. only Jesus can fill the empty spaces in our hearts with life. If you're feeling empty, call out to Him today. And if you're experiencing serious struggles, seek out godly counsel. Christ alone provides life that's abundant and full, life full of meaning found in Him. Now let's hear about the full life of Jesus Christ in today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading. It's from John, chapter 10, verses 1 through 10. Very truly, I tell you, Pharisees, anyone who does not enter the sheep pen by the gate, but climbs in by some other way, is a thief and a robber. The one who enters by the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep listen to his voice. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has brought out all his own, he goes on ahead of them, and his sheep follow him because they know his voice. But they will never follow a stranger. In fact, they will run away from him because they do not recognize a stranger's voice. Jesus used this figure of speech, but the Pharisees did not understand what he was telling them. Therefore Jesus said again, Very truly I tell you, I am the gate for the sheep. All who have come before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep have not listened to them. I am the gate. Whoever enters through me will be saved. They will come in and go out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. Now let's pray. Heavenly Father, this world is full of counterfeits that offer us peace and satisfaction. But Jesus, we find our greatest heart satisfaction only in you. And we believe you when you say that the thief, the enemy of our souls, Satan, comes only to steal and kill and destroy. Thank you for the promise, and may we find it today that full life comes only and abundantly from you. And so, Jesus, it's in your name that we pray and live this abundant life. Amen. Thanks so much for listening. I'm Wes Ward, and today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Happy holidays, everyone. Happy holidays, all of our listeners, supporters, everyone at UME Radio wants to say happy holidays for you guys. So thank you guys. I hope you guys have a great holiday season. Let me know how you are spending it in the comment section down below. Let us know. We always love to hear that. So let me tell you what's coming up on our show for today. So, sorry guys, I have allergies. My allergies are acting up this morning. So, coming up in our show today, we'll be looking at what's happening on the front page of the New York Times, CARICOM Today, and top stories in Africa, followed by Get Fit with professional athlete and fitness coach DeAndre Burrell, live from Tennessee, Entertainment Now, Wealth Mindset with Marsha Gay Miles, digital wealth creator and lifestyle engineer, live from Jamaica, Weekends with Jesse, and last but certainly not least, Travel Boss with Keith, businessman and musician, live from New York. It's now time for the news headlines, thanks to NewYorkTimes.com, CARICOMnews.com, and AfricaNews.com. So everyone, let's take a look at New York Times. This is New York Times front page, all the news that's fit to print, and I'll just be reading off the headlines for all of the articles today. So on the New York Times, Supreme Court lets Texas law be changed. Abortion ban remains, but groups can sue. We have two graphs here that shows the inflation reached the highest level in 4 decades. Going over to the right, we have consumer prices jump, testing U.S. officials on inflation controls. Biden sees a boom, but many do not. Increases spending from goods to housing. Now, as we scroll down, we have after Ghana trip, Adams faces a long to-do list, a law, an email, and a furor over oh, I can't read today. And a furor over curriculums. There we go. Debate rages on bans of topics and books. Last but not least, keeping his own counsel on Turkey's economy, leader presses his plan as currency sinks. Now we're going to head over to CARICOM today. The latest from the Caribbean community, and right on the front page, call for climate change communications to be creative and compelling. As we scroll, we have opening remarks by Ambassador Colin Granderson, Assistant Secretary General. The UWI confers 7 retired professors with emeritus title. Capitalize on opportunities pandemic creates. CARICOM ASG urges region. CARPA, CARPHA, enhances food safety in Caribbean through foodborne diseases surveillance. Inbound passengers to St. Kitts and Nevis required to submit travel entry form. Internet Governance Forum promotes inclusive digital future for all. CDB to fund Haiti's insurance against natural hazards. CARICOM ambassadors in Cuba observe CARICOM Cuba Day. Keeping it in the family. Williamsburg, the makers of Whippy peanut butter. And if we keep scrolling, if you guys want to check out more articles, there are more extensive headlines in CARICOM at Work, Personality, and In Depth. And last, but again, certainly not least, we have our African news. And we're going to take a look at the titles in this just in. So, the uncertain future of children caught in conflict in Cameroon. Fulu Muziki, the sound that comes from garbage, inspire Africa. Opposition leader in Benin sentenced to 20 years in jail. We have Africa CDC and nations might turn to COVID-19 vaccine mandates. Benin's opposition figure on trial for terrorism charges. Filipino protesters destroy Duterte effigy at march in Manila. ECOWAS to hold ordinary summit Sunday. Dozens of migrants are evacuated from a camp under Paris Ring Road. Ivory Coast announces partnership with Italian energy giant Eni. Head of Mali junta calls on opponents to suspend the divisions. Rastafari want more legal marijuana for freedom of worship. Israel rescue sentry release sea turtles back to sea. And veteran Kenyan politician Rala O, I don't want to butcher gentleman's name, announces 5th run for president. And this is what is going on in the headlines around the world, New York, Caribbean, and Africa. Now, next coming up for today, we want to lead you into Today in History and the Empowerment. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, click that notification bell so you get notified when we go live and when we upload a new video. We love to hear the comments that you all have. So let's get into Today in History and our Power Minute.
In the aftermath of World War II, the General Assembly of the United Nations votes to establish the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, an organization to help provide relief and support to children living in countries devastated by the war. After the food and medical crisis of the late 1940s passed, UNICEF continued its role as a relief organization for the children of troubled nations, and during the 1970s grew into a vocal advocate of children's rights. During the 1980s, UNICEF assisted the UN Commission on Human Rights in the drafting of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. After its introduction to the UN General Assembly in 1989, the Convention on the Rights of the Child became the most widely ratified human rights treaty in history, and UNICEF played a key role in ensuring its enforcement. Of the 184 member states of the United Nations, only 2 countries have failed to ratify the treaty: Somalia and the United States. Somalia does not currently have an internationally recognized government, so ratification is impossible, and the United States, which was one of the original signatories of the convention, has failed to ratify the treaty because of concerns about its potential impact on national sovereignty and the parent-child relationship.
Good morning, beloved. Wake up with gratitude in your heart. Being grateful is cleansing. It is freeing. It is a state of being that makes you feel full, that makes your life full. Gratitude is the way to abundance. Be grateful. Wake up with a grateful heart. Don't forget, your gratitude will attract abundance. The only way to abundance is through gratitude. Thank you for joining me this morning. This is Coach Raquel with your morning inspiration. Have the best day. Smile the most today. Laugh heartily today. Embrace gratitude today. And live in a state of gratitude. Wake up with a heart of gratitude.
Hi, everyone. So I want to shed some light on one of the topics that were talked about, and actually was one of the headlines for today on CARICOM News, and it was in regards to climate change. Now, if we're able to click into that article, no, but I truly believe that climate change is something that really needs to be talked about, and it really needs to have a prevalence in this world. You know, we were put on this earth, we are meant to take care of it. And I wanted to read some stats for you that I found. Now, it's according to the MGH Institute of Health Professionals, and it would be up on the screen in a short minute. But if it's not, I want to read some stats for you guys. So the stats below are from the World Bank in 2018 on climate change and health. And it states that climate change experienced primarily through shifts in temperature, rainfall, sea level rise, and weather vitality can have drastic impacts on human health. Climate change could see more than 100 million people return to extreme poverty by 2030 unless concerted action is taken. The negative impacts of climate change on people's health could play a major role in this reversal. Also states that climate change influences health through changing the distribution and occurrence of vector-borne diseases. Warming of 2 to 3 degrees Celsius is estimated to increase the number of people at risk of malaria by up to 5% globally, or more than 150 million people. Climate change is also closely linked with increased incidence of dengue, a mosquito-borne disease whose transmissibility has increased by between 3% and 6% due to climate change since 1990. climate change could increase the burden of diarrhea by up to 10% by 2030 in susceptible regions such as Southeast Asia. The combined effects of higher temperatures, increased rainfall, vitality, and weather extremes have dire impact on crops. In the extreme, climate change can result in complete crop failure. For these reasons, undernutrition, the outcome of insufficient food intake, and repeated infectious diseases has been identified as the largest health impact of climate change in the 21st century. A 6% decline in global wealth yields and 10% decline in rice yields is expected for each additional 1 degree Celsius rise in global temperature. An additional 7.5 million children are expected to be stunted by 2030, 4 million of whom are expected to be affected by severe stunting, increasing to 10 million children by 2050. Some OR stats: the frequency of weather-related disasters has increased by 46% from 2007 to 2016 due to climate change. And I don't know if you recently heard of the earthquake, the 8.1 earthquake that recently hit in New Zealand, right in the middle. I was it just yesterday or a few days ago that it happened. And I think that it's really, really prevalent. We see it in New York right now. Winter is not as cold. It hasn't been as cold as it has in the past few years. We haven't. The other day, this was like a few weeks ago, there were about say 60 to 80 crows that were just flying around. And if you don't know, I have a fear of birds, everyone. There are about 60 to 80 crows just flying around, cawing. And I'm just like, where did you all come from? Did something die? But at the same time, it didn't happen. This was while I was in Buffalo, and was, yeah, a lot of them. And I'm thinking maybe because the weather was so warm for those weeks, they'd never had the chance to really follow their migration patterns. And then when I went home around for Thanksgiving, my mom showed me a video of they're not crows, they're smaller birds, but hundreds of them. It looks like our whole like lawn was just black of because it was just that amount of birds. And Professor, our neighbor's lawn. They were very small birds. They were small like sparrows, but they were black in color. But anyway, hundreds of them. And then we're like, are you guys not getting your migration patterns? And this is all just due to climate change. We have a comment that states we need to do much more to improve our understanding, our awareness, and our ability to adapt, respond to, and make better decisions in the face of climate change. We must rely on everyday experiences and demonstrate how our lives are being impacted by climate change. This is a quote from the CCCCC Executive Director. And yet, let me know in the comment section down below, how do you feel about climate change? Have your lives been impacted? If we have our listeners from the Caribbean or Africa, how has your life been impacted? Or has it not as of yet? I know in the Northeast where I am, I definitely can see the change. The winters aren't maybe as cold, or on certain times of year. Certain times of year it could be even colder. The summer a little bit hotter than normal. So let me know. And even in the United States, this is just how I'm experiencing in the Northeast. If you're a listener from California, I know that you suffer from, forest fires and, drought and everything like that. So let me know where everyone is tuning in from. Let us know, how has your life been impacted by climate change? How do you think that we should take action, and how are you currently taking action? Are you not driving as much? Are you using more public transportation? Let me know. Are you biking? Are you walking? So let me know in the comment section down below. And now it is time for our spotlight.
Apostle Dr. Faith Walters and Women and Men of Excellence Outreach Ministries presents our annual Thanksgiving Community Outreach Drive. So I am hoping and praying that you will, those who can donate some finances or donate some, packs of food. I do dry food if the packs, little packs, let the Lord move in your heart if you want to do that, or you could send the donation to the ministry and I could take care of it that way. It's our annual Thanksgiving Community Outreach Drive, and that will be held on Tuesday, November 16, 2021. And it's going to be at my usual spot, 34-56 East 3rd Street, Mount Vernon, New York. The time is 2 p.m. to 3:30. And of course, it's while supplies last. And, and 2 Corinthians 9:7 says, for God loves the person who gives cheerfully. So we enjoy giving in this ministry as part of what we do connected to the community. So again, invite people to come out on Tuesday, November 16th, 2021 for our annual Thanksgiving Community Outreach Drive. I don't give out turkeys because I don't have any facilities for that. So I just do what God put on my heart. I mostly give dry goods. So you'll be able to have a meal for most likely for a day or two or even last a week. I have little things in the packages that I give out, and it's a pleasure doing that. So I'm just grateful to the Lord that we're able to do this on a monthly basis to help the community. So, and, continue to spread the love of Jesus and continue to spread the word of the Lord, because God's word has to go forth by any means necessary. So I'm grateful to the Lord for that. And I'm just really excited about what he's doing. I have the first book, Poems About My Self-Esteem. That's it's on the website. It's on there for $12. And it's help you if you have problems with low self-esteem. This book will certainly help you and touch you and make your life change. Okay, so yeah, I have one here that says, what is a smile? A smile lights up your day. It makes your face bright. It sends sunshine when there is pain. So, always keep a smile even when you're having a bad day. Smile a little, it makes the world go around. So even as you are going through, yes, girl, I was still smiling and going on same way. All right, when I'm in pain, yes. So this is a powerful book. The poetry is very short and to the point, but even though they're short, they're deep. So you got to take some time to really think about them and just get them in your spirit and let it get deep down in you and for you to really understand, what it's trying to say to you. All right. And I have my new book that came out in July, and the book is Reborn. And this book is just talking about the personal story about my journey from a place of despair, from a place of darkness, to fulfilling God's purpose in my life. This book is also transform your life as well. It will make your life different. It shares some, not even all of it, just a synopsis of some of the things I experienced while growing up in the church and growing up in a family, that I thought loved me and didn't realize that I had to do it by myself, but because of God, he helped me to get through it, to bring me to a place of where I am today. So book is to encourage you that if you are in a place of darkness and you are surrounded by people who are supposed to love you and they don't show you, demonstrate that love, know that God is there for you. And take some time to pen your thoughts, because you never know who's going to pick up your book one day. When you're gone from this, when it time has come, you're gone from this world. You're leaving legacies. These are things you're leaving behind for your loved ones to read, and you never know who will pick it up wherever they are. And we have the supernatural highway now that's everywhere, so you'd be surprised where people find words that can help them.
Are you ready for the weekend?
Weekends on UME Radio. Get the UME Radio app.
Weekends on UME Radio. The sun is up and so are we. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at UME Radio.
UME Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7. Subscribe on YouTube and click the notification bell.
Here we go. Good morning to everybody. This is DeAndre Burrell with Get Fit Mind, Body, and Soul on UME Radio. Very thankful and grateful for waking up this morning. Um, Man, God is always good. He's always great. He's always doing what he needs to do for us when we can't do it ourselves. So, very grateful for that. So, again, today I'm always going to start off with a scripture and prayer. Right now, I've just been on faith with Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, and our faith takes us a long way. And faith requires action. So, with that being said, I'll go into prayer right now. So, those of you can bow your heads, close your eyes, whatever you need to do, um, do what you need to do, but just continue to have faith. So, thank you, Father God, for this morning. Thank you for allowing us to be up this morning, having the activities of our limbs and the strength that we need to go throughout our day. Keep blessing our families, our friends, and those who are connected, those who are sick, those who are needing healing right now, Father God. We just ask that we are connected with you and that we continue to pray for others, pray for ourselves, pray for others, and pray for those who cannot pray for themselves. And just continue to believe, continue to trust, continue to honor you, continue to glorify you, continue to just show our thankfulness for you, our gratefulness for you, because we can't do it without you and we can't do it alone. Sometimes, God, we feel like we're alone, but we're not alone. It seems that way, but you will always send people in our path or in our direction to encourage us in that moment, to light up a fire under us, to get going, and for us to see the bigger picture and to know we're on the right path in the right direction. So, Father God, for us to continue to have faith, continue to operate in faith, continue to believe, continue to choose ourselves, because when we choose ourselves, we are choosing the Spirit of God that's inside of us, and to dwell in the Spirit and continue this walking journey that you have given us. So we thank you, and we're grateful for this show. We're grateful for the people who produce this show. We're thankful for everybody's segment, and to bless everybody that is in this segment. Bless everybody that may be in future segments. Bless the people that have their own segments. Everybody on UME Radio and the weekend show. Just bless everybody that's tuning in. And for us to create something big, create something great, bigger and greater than what we've ever dreamed of and what the people actually are seeing. So we thank you for that right now. In Jesus' name, we love you. Amen. So today we will be talking about the top 10 or 10 frequent questions that are asked. And this is an article by Sunny Health Fitness.com, I believe. So I have a disclaimer to read. So I will be reading the disclaimer. You and Me Radio and Create Elite strongly recommend that you consult with your physician before beginning any exercise program. You should be in good physical condition before participating in any exercise program. I am not a licensed medical care provider, and I have no expertise in diagnosing, examining, or treating medical conditions of any kind, or in determining the effect of any specific exercise on a medical condition. If you engage in any exercise based on information shared on this show, you agree that you do so at your own risk. The information provided is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have read, seen, or heard on this show. Thank you. So, top 10 questions that are frequently asked, and I'm going to, answer them to my best ability and also to how I train and work out. So, um, this is my business page right here. As you see, it's my logo, Create Elite. We're one with the creator, right? Number 8 is New Beginnings, but we will speak about that. And yes, this is my fitness page, business page, and this is what I do. So I am a business owner, performance health and wellness business owner, as well as a fitness coach, fitness trainer, mental coach. And also, um, I'm ISSA certified or is a certified personal trainer. I also played in the NFL, played in Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and Tennessee. So we'll dive into these top 10 questions. What's the best diet for my fitness goals? Okay, so that's the first question. So best diet really depends on what you are wanting to achieve, right? So if I'm doing a lot of running, jogging, sprinting, anaerobic exercises or aerobic exercises, it just depends. So say we'll just give an example. A long distance runner does a lot of running. They're going to need to have a high intake of calories and quality protein. It all depends on what you're doing. Um, for me personally, I used to weigh about 195 pounds, um, and that's playing weight, and that is a lot of weight for me. So I would have to intake a lot of carbs, high calorie diet because I'm constantly running at football practice, playing wide receiver position. I was just doing a lot of running, a lot of running, a lot of running. And now I'm burning a lot of calories, a lot of resting burn. And I would need to refuel on carbs, high calorie intake, a lot of protein. So it just really depends on what you're doing. If you want to lose weight, you want to have low calorie intake, and most likely not as many carbs, depending on the workout. Um, you may substitute it with fat for use of energy. So it all depends on what you're actually doing. If you want to lose weight, weight loss, if you're running often, if you're weight training often, it just depends on what you're doing for your fitness goals, putting on size, um, losing weight. So it really just depends on what you're doing. It's a trial and error. It's science as well as trial and error because everybody's body is different. Um, it just depends. How long does it take to see results? Okay, this is number 9. How long does it take to see results? So I'd say um, with aerobic training, with running, you may be able to see results within 4 weeks. Um, if you are just continuously running or training for a marathon or training for sprints, um, again, it just all depends. It's just what we're doing. For me personally, I'm in shape when it comes to running. So sprinting wise, it'll probably take about a month to see a difference in my explosion and in my running and my get off and my takeoff. But generally, I'd say with running, maybe about 4 months. I mean, not 4 months, 4 weeks. Sorry, a month, 1 month, 4 weeks. And then with strength training, weight training, 6 to 8 week program, something that's structured, you'll be able to see the results that you desire. Okay, so what can you do about muscle soreness? Muscle soreness is one of those things where you're tearing your muscle and it needs to recover. So with muscle soreness, it'll require your protein intake, your carb intake, resting, sleeping, um, also active recovery. Okay, active recovery is doing or active workout, active recovery workout. We used to do those in college, but active recovery workout can relieve the soreness and get that blood flow in your body, and then you can do some light stretching as well with that. So, say you do a lower body day, um, you get that delayed onset muscle soreness. So that's 48 hours after you do a lower body workout, you may be sore the next 2 days, or 2 days you might start feeling sore. But just getting that active recovery with light running, light stretching, a dynamic warm up. Okay, dynamic warm up is more so getting ready to go do something, getting ready to go perform instead of static stretching. So, static stretching is something that you don't want to do for muscle soreness. You want to be able to be active and moving. When should I stretch and how often? Um, well, if you usually stretch before your workouts, um, I usually do dynamic stretching. So you're already stretching when you go work out. That's what you should be doing, a dynamic warm up, dynamic stretching. And I'd say stretch after a high intensity workout. Give yourself a cool down, whether that's a jog or a walk to get that heart rate down, and do some stretching after. Um, I see at times that we will lift weights when we just leave the gym. But if we're doing an intense workout, it's important for you to stretch. I'd say 2 to 3 times a week, stretching, and not stretching just your hamstrings or quads, making sure you're stretching your glutes and just what pertains to you, what is good for you. Um, so 2 to 3 times a week outside of your normal stretching before you work out and after you work out. How often should I rest? Okay. So how often should you rest? Well, again, it really depends on your workout. I like to work out about 5 days a week, 4 or 5 days a week. Um, Rest time, usually I work out Monday, Tuesday, give myself Wednesday an active recovery or a day off. And then I go Thursday, Friday, and then possible Saturday. So I'd say at least you're working out 4 to 5 times a week, 2 to 3 days a week of rest, and making sure that every workout isn't an intense workout because you'll do damage to your body and your muscles. Good morning, Facebook user. What training should I be doing to lose weight? Training you can do. Okay, so what training should I be doing to lose weight? Um, Man, you can do aerobic training, a lot of cardio, running, jogging, walking, strength training, mixture of high intensity interval training. So you can do some strength training with some cardio or conditioning, and that'll get you to lose weight. Also, your diet, just what you're eating. Um, a lot of carb intake for someone that's trying to lose weight, that may not be the best solution. Carb is to fuel energy. Fat also fuels energy, but you don't want to keep packing on those carbs. Carbs turns into sugar. It's going to turn into fat. So uh, low carbs, low calorie, and cardio, conditioning, strength training, high intensity interval training. How much weight should I use when strength training? So with strength training, if you're a beginner, you are a beginner with strength training, you would want to use your body weight, lighter weight, to be able to do correct form. You want to be able to do the correct form before you start lifting heavy weights, because then you'll do damage to your body, your joints, your ligaments, your tendons. So it's always important to start off, if you are a beginner, with your body weight, then go up to a lighter weight, actual dumbbells or barbells. Learn the technique first and make sure you are executing the exercises with proper form with strength training. How can I increase lean muscle mass? Well, increasing lean muscle mass, you have to, you know, increasing lean muscle mass, uh, quality protein intake, carb intake, making sure you are eliminating, not eliminating, because for me, I like to cheat a little bit. So sometimes I like to eat some things that I'm not supposed to, but you want to have quality protein intake in the way you're training. So lean muscle mass, you would want to do, so you can do muscle growth. Muscle growth can produce lean muscle mass. Strength training can produce lean muscle mass. That would be hypertrophy 8 to 12 reps, or 7 to 13 reps for hypertrophy muscle growth. Strength training 1 to 5 reps, but also the exercises, how you're doing it, time under tension. So that would mean if I'm squatting, right? If I'm squatting, people like to do reps up and down. We just go up and down and just doing the movement. But if you do time under tension, say I'm squatting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then come up. You want the eccentric and concentric movements, and that will help you build that lean muscle mass as well, um, without having to do so many reps. Time under tension, you may be able to do less reps, but you're getting that same effect with training. How long should I work out for? I like this question right here. I really do. Okay, so how long should I work out for? Okay. There's so many workouts that you can do um, as an athlete, right? Football player, our workouts were about an hour and a half. That included dynamic warm up, that included running, sprinting, agility, that included uh, weight training, strength training, and then also at the end, core or finish exercise or correctives. That takes about an hour and 30 minutes for athletes to get their workouts done. Um, I'd say individually, maybe it could take you an hour, 60 minutes, 45 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. If you're doing cardio, or cardio and conditioning, I like to say strength and conditioning, but cardio and conditioning, it could be 20 to 30 minutes of conditioning. That can be a workout. High intensity interval training can be 45 minutes, where you're having a mixture of strength training and conditioning or cardio in your workout. So it all depends on what you have going on. If you're running during your workout, are you just working your upper body during the workout? Are you doing total body? It may take a little bit longer to do a warm up. So it just all depends on what you're doing. So it can vary from 20 minutes to an hour and a half. So whatever is for you, what works best for you and how you operate. You don't want to go past 2 hours. 2 hours, you do damage to your muscles, do damage to your joints. You just can't be in the gym that long. So do I need to work out every day? Well, you don't need to work out every day, and um, yeah, you don't need to work out every day. And I encourage you all to participate with me in working out, participate in this conversation, participate uh, in training with me, whether you are in New York, out the country. We can do a workout, 15, 20-minute workout, so we can stay inspired and help each other with our goals. I'm gonna challenge you and me radio to do a workout with me, everybody on the show. But you don't need to work out every day. Working out every day, you need some rest time. I believe sleep is one of the key things to recovery. Laying down, your body being relaxed. Yeah, you like that? Yes, yes, I like that too. UME Radio says we like that for sure. I want you guys to participate in this and give your feedback on what you guys do for workouts and what works best for you and what's not working for you, because we all are different. Our body are made up of the same things. Our bodies are made up of the same things, but there's certain things that work for us, certain things that don't. So we just got to make sure it works for us individually. And you guys may have something that works for you or a suggestion that may work for me. So I'm always the guy that uh, likes to do trial and error when it comes to working out and seeing different results with my body. Whether that's me fasting, sometimes I fast, sometimes I don't eat carbs. I'll cut all of that out. I'll just eat the vegetables and protein just to see how my body looks. Um, it just all depends on what you're doing. You can count your calories, you can count your calorie intake, you can count your macronutrients, that's your carbs, your proteins, and fats. So there's so many things that you can do. It's amazing in this fitness world what your body can do, and how much knowledge people do have. And it's science plus trial and error, um, because everybody is different. Everybody is different, and that's what I appreciate about the fitness world. Just learning and understanding, and learning from different people, and people helping me and me helping other people. Um, so I'm just thankful for this segment. I'm thankful for you and me radio. I encourage you to participate in a workout with myself and you and me radio, and hopefully we can get that going. And the weekend show. I want the weekend show to be there. But I'm just very grateful and thankful for this segment. I hope everyone had a blessed day and you were encouraged and had gained some knowledge today. And any feedback, you have my Instagram and my personal Instagram and business Instagram. You're more than welcome to contact me via email, text. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and tell all your followers and your friends and share this segment with everybody. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Hi, everyone. So, our spotlight right now for today is with Apostle Dr. Faith Walters, Women and Men of Excellence Outreach Ministries, and she is having her Christmas out community outreach drive. Now, take note, guys. This is Tuesday, December 14th, 2021, everyone, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. It is 34-56 East 3rd Street, Mount Vernon, New York, 10550. Supplies only while supplies last. Again, Apostle Dr. Faith Walters and Women and Men of Excellence Outreach Ministries is having their Christmas Community Outreach Drive, and that's going to take place this coming Tuesday, December 14th, 2021, from 2 to 3:30 p.m. It is at 3456 East 3rd Street, Mount Vernon, New York, 10555. We invite you guys to go out, support the event, support the people. And if you want to get connected with Apostle Faith and her ministries, you could go to WAMOE.org. You could email at support@WAMOE.org. The Facebook and Instagram, you could follow her at WO Ministries. That's WAMOE Ministries. And subscribe on YouTube at WO Ministries. If you need counseling or anything of that nature, apply online. It is appointment only. So at WAMOE.org /counseling. She also has a prayer line that's on Monday mornings at 7 a.m., 978-990-5000. And the code is 329073#. Again, guys, I want to invite you guys. We at UME Radio, we support our listeners and our providers, guys. And this is Apostle Faith Walters at Womo Outreach Ministry. Join, support. And if you need to send anything to Apostle Faith Walters, it is their P.O. Box 2077, Mount Vernon, New York, 10551. Again, that's P.O. Box 2077, Mount Vernon, New York, 10551. Number is 914-699-2482 or 837-9635.
Welcome to Entertainment Now on UMERADIO, WUMEDB New York. This show takes you beyond the music, dance, box office and thrills, for deeper and more meaningful insights into the minds and hearts of the players. We share stories about pop culture, celebrities, and everything entertainment, but with education and empowerment in mind. It's all about positive entertainment. Here is today's hot topic. Last week we were celebrating his great-grandmother's 102nd birthday. Today, we mourn with him the loss of his infant son, Sen. Nick Cannon painfully yet stoically shared his grief with the world and the circumstances surrounding his youngest child's death from a brain tumor. Here is a clip from his message.
Today is a special one, y'all. It's like my youngest son, Zen Scott Cannon, right there. Probably before the show started in the summertime, Zen was born in June, on June 23rd, actually. So, this weekend, you know, I made a valid effort to spend the most quality time I could spend with Zen. And we woke up on Sunday. Got to spend, you know, the weekend with them, spend the night, and we woke up on Sunday, and I was like, I feel like I want to go to the water. You know, we're close to the ocean, and you know, we kind of got a chance to go to the ocean. And usually on Sundays, kind of handle everything I had to handle with the family, and then I fly back to New York. I rush back so I could be here for you all. And so, you know, but I wanted to make sure that, you know, I had allowed the sun to rise and, you know, kind of hold my son. And in the having the last, holding my son for the last time. But it was a beautiful setting and even to spend that whole day. It was interesting because even as I was holding him, I was still preparing my day as it normally went to come back and, you know, come here, and still I didn't know what it was going to be, but even by the time I got in the car and was headed to the airport, I had to turn around. And I turned around, and not only did we get to see the sunrise, but we got to see the sunset too. And I didn't know how I was going to handle today. I didn't know how, but I just really wanted, you know, I wanted to grieve with my family. You know what I mean? There's no people who love you. I love you too. And I didn't want to make it about any pageantry or any of that type of stuff, so I kind of went back and forth for what I should do, but I felt like, you know, I was always talking about, you don't just go through it, you grow through it, you keep pushing, you know what I mean? And I have so much faith in the Lord, I have so much faith in God, and I never, you know, people were often telling me I should pray for miracles, and I did pray for the miracle. I prayed for the miracle of God's strength, and that's why I'm here with you guys today, because I know, you know, he puts the most and heaviest weight on the shoulders of his strongest soldiers. So I'm here to show that I can fight through this. I'm feeling it. I'm vulnerable. I'm open, y'all, but I'm gonna make it through. And this is a special show dedicated to my beautiful son. Dr. Laura Berman is here. Y'all know she's my daytime therapist. She has helped me with so many things in so many areas in my life. And Dr. Laura has also dealt with some similar situations in her own life as a parent. So she's the perfect person to talk to. She's here today. I know so many people out there have experienced the kind of pain and grief that I'm experiencing right now. We all know it. This is that time to say you never know what somebody's going through. Hug your people, hug your family, kiss somebody, tell them you love them. It's the holidays, and we're here. We'll be right back.
Cheers and positive entertainment from UME Radio. Now, everyone, today we have a special feature for you, the Black Experience in New York City. We talk with New Yorkers about their personal experiences living and working in New York. Let's hear what they had to say.
The Black Experience in New York City. This information is courtesy of nycgo.com. Black culture is integral to the identity of NYC, reportedly, the city with the largest black population in the United States. Its influence can be felt across the 5 boroughs, in many forms, world-renowned music and style, a celebrated food scene, the visual and performing arts, live experiences, business owners, and all who lead the charge in keeping the city progressive, resilient, and safe. In a content series, nycgo.com, Spotlight, Celebrate, and Amplify New York City's Black experience and the community whose cultural contributions reverberate around the globe. With a global footprint encompassing the entire Black diaspora, including people from the Caribbean, Latin America, Africa, South America, and the U.S., and countless affinity groups and experiences, the Black community in NYC boasts its own cultural nuances that enrich the city's diversity and provide an experience like none other in the world.
You know, we have differences going. There's a little church over there. Very diverse place. Right there's a printing shop right across there. Lots of grocery stores. Almost at every other corner is a grocery store. So lots of food.
We have Keith joining us from the Bronx, and he will be telling us about his experience living and working in New York. He is a popular saxophonist with top ranking and great reviews on the Bash, formerly known as Gigmasters. Hi Keith. Welcome to the show. Talk to us about your life as a New Yorker.
Well, my life here as a New Yorker is one that's very interesting. You know, I live in a very diverse city, and so you get to experience a lot in one place. We're now approaching the cold season, and as you can see, I'm shaking, right? Yeah, but you know, the leaves are falling and it's getting cold. But life in the city is can be very intense. You really have to have a good, steady head, so to speak. You know, learn how to relax and how to breathe deep and not to take life too serious. New York is a very, very stressful place in many aspects. So it calls for, you know, you to really know yourself, you know, and be able to find ways and means how to, you know, debrief, how to not be stressed, and how to really just find, I would say, comfort in those that you love and know, like family and friends. But life here is pretty exciting, you know, if you make it. As someone said, life is what you make it, right? I came here when I was 14, going on 15. Initially, I was living in Jamaica. I was born there. And a part of my family came here prior to me, my twin, and my elder brother, who stayed back in Jamaica for about 4 years. So it was in 80, I think 82, 83, when we came up. And we first landed in Brooklyn, New York. You know, New York is made up of 5 boroughs. So we have Bronx, we have Brooklyn, we have Queens, we have Manhattan, and we have Staten Island, right? And so therefore, we first landed in Brooklyn. I was there for like a year. That same year, I went into 9th grade. We moved to the Bronx the following year, and been in the Bronx for a number of years, pretty much all my life. And after I got married, I spent some time in Connecticut for a number of years as well. And now I'm actually moving back to New York. I moved back to New York, and I'm still here, working in the school system here, and pretty much that's where I am, you know. So I attend church in New York, I work in New York, and I have a business in New York, and that's kind of why I'm here. You know, it's interesting because as it relates to my saxophone playing, I didn't initially start as that. I was initially a musician. I was playing the drums. I got into a little keyboard, then a little bass and songwriting. Got into a band, traveled, and did a whole lot of things. And it was a number of years ago when I picked up the saxophone, loved it. I actually picked it up in New York when I was in 12th grade. Picked it up when I was in 12th grade, and never looked back ever since. But one day, I just got a hunch to just, maybe take it to school and play for my coworkers. And didn't know the response I would get, but I got a real fantastic response. And I'm like, maybe I should take this out in public, And I decided to get on this network, and they told me I would, eventually get some gigs. And ever since I've been getting gigs, weddings, and a lot of corporate functions, bat mitzvah, you name it, walking down the park, surprise birthdays, wishes, and surprise proposals, and just a gamut of different events, social events. And of course, I learned a lot about people. I've learned so much about people, different cultures, and how music really kind of ties in everyone into this one kind of world. I'll give an example. One of the famous songs that I play would be One Love. And I would play it in the Asian community, I would play it in the Spanish community, I would play it in the Caucasian community, the African community, and I would get almost a similar response. Just that one song that is so world known, And I'm like, wow. So music is really powerful. I see how people respond to that one song in a church setting and a secular setting. I'm like, this is so deep. So I realized that we have more in common than we think. And of course, a lot of these places I've gone, especially some of these big corporate functions, folks are millionaires, they're very wealthy people. I get to hear the conversations, what they sound like, how they relate to each other. I've gone to, the regular, I can't even explain it, but your regular cookout, and you hear the conversations. And so you kind of hear how people relate and how music really connects them all, because it brings a smile, it brings a joy, it brings that memory that they like. So that's kind of how I look at it, I kind of connect with people on that level. And some remember me afterwards, some forget me afterwards. But I think that at the end of the day, I enjoy most of when I get callbacks. Like, I want you again. I saw you a year ago, or I saw you 5 years ago, and I want you back again. So music has really shown me how we are really connected, more than we think. The favorite part of New York, I think because of the way I think, I'm a very optimistic person, very self-motivated. I'm very, I would say, very, I'm a socialite in a way. And it's a city that's full of energy, it's full of just people and just, a lot of culture. So I enjoy New York City. You go into a grocery store and you find everything. You find this kind of, you find in the cabinet section, the food that you want is here. Stores that you like, you can have that too. You want vegans right here. So, it's a very, very, I would say, city in so many areas. So if you are someone who like lore and like to really be adventurous, then this is the place you want to be, New York.
Pastor, therapist, and retired educator. Dr. Faith Walters has been heavily invested in community development in Mount Vernon for more than 2 decades. She will also be joining us to share some of her experiences of life in New York.
I just love helping people. It's one of my things. I came from a background, as you recognize my book, came from darkness to where I am today. And I wanted to share my story and to share the love of Jesus and just share and let people understand that no matter what walks of life you come from, you could be somebody, you could be what God desired you to be. Wow, I've been in New York for approximately 50 years. I've been here since about 9 years old. I came here in April 1971. And I've gone through a lot of the echelons of different parts of New York. I've traveled out of New York, but I never really officially left New York, moved away and came back. I've always been here. I love the atmosphere. I mean, it has ups and downs and different things that happen, from time to time. But I love the lights. I love the excitement, the movement. The pace. You have the suburbs. I'm in the suburbs, and they also have the city. So the city's called the Big Apple. They said the city never sleeps. So I enjoy the balance, the excitement, and the atmosphere, the colors, the skill, the way the people, they do the designs. I love even the bridges, the way they design them. I just love the lights, different things at nighttime, So there's a lot of things to do in New York. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes I go to different states, and I always get so excited to come back because in New York, you always have something to do. Always something to do. On every corner, there's a store. You don't have to travel too far. You could walk, you could run, you could skip, you could hop. You could drive. It's a choice. You could take a train, you could take a bus, you could take the subway, different ways to get around in New York. So it makes it so much easier and much more fun and so much intriguing and so enlightening to everybody that comes here. But I started teaching from I was a very young girl. I was about 14 years old. And I didn't really have a passion for teaching until later on down the road. But my passion was to become a secretary. But I used to teach when my father was a pastor in Yonkers, New York. I used to teach the Sunday school there, and I used to enjoy teaching the little children from ages, they were like baby stages to about 9 years old. So I had a lot of fun doing it, but I never thought that I would do that as a profession. And so one of my greatest gifts at that time was to become a typist. I had a great teacher in high school, Miss Henry, and she really taught me how to type. So that was one of my biggest thing I wanted to do for the rest of my life, become an executive secretary. But it so happened as I was being in that arena, I graduated with an associate degree in general business administration from Mercy College, and I was pursuing that career. But for some reason, every time I was in a company or whatever it is, the company was either closing down or something else was going on. So something kept telling me that maybe this is not where I needed to be. But at some point, I was there for some reasons because some things were happening in my life at that time. So at the last company I was at, I said to the Lord, I said, God, I've done what I desired to do. What is it you want me to do? So it just popped into my head. The answer just came immediately, become a teacher. So I never thought about that. And I said, Lord, I don't know if I have the skill set to do that, because of what was spoken into my life at a very young age and negatives that were spoken into my life. And the Lord said to me, don't worry about it. I'll give you all the knowledge you need to do this. So it so happened I went through to school. I was involved. I got into the City College of New York, and I did very well. I surprised myself. I got A's and lots of A's and B's. I'm like, wow. And also look back at the typing skills I had. I was able to write all my papers, so that came in a very, that helped me a lot because it saved me a lot of finances as well. So even though that was not something that I was able to do for the rest of my life, but it came in as a means to help me to get me to the next level.
I'm doing fine today, thank you. Well, Dr. Faith, we became very good friends, and we are doing great in the community together with the kids and the outreach ministry, and I'm just happy to be a part of that.
Well, thank God. I'm just so in awe of working with Mr. King James from the Blue Bamboo Restaurant here in Mount Vernon. I just moved here a few months ago, and about in August, and I came out here in about November. Yes, was it October? I think it was October. I think around October, around my birthday time, and happened to be, I wanted to support the neighborhood because he was just right here, not too far from where I live. And I came in, and we ended up realizing he is a Jamaican. He is just part of my heritage, and we just started talking, and I started talking about the ministry, what I do, and he was so happy to be a part of it. Everything I'm doing, he's really there on point. And even when I brought to him that we would be featuring children on Saturday for Christmas, to read the Bible story, he was so supportive of that. So whatever Women and Men of Excellence Outreach Ministries are doing, he's very much a part of it and very much interested in it. And it's such a great, been such a great asset so far to the ministry, and we're grateful to the Lord for that.
Well, I got to New York by, by family members, inviting me here, and then I fell in love with New York, so I decided I'm gonna stay. My background is, I didn't have a cooking background. I just fell right into it, per se, and I fell in love with it. It's just something I love to do. It's been a tremendous experience, being in New York and food. It's just like a very vibrant place to be with food and culture and fashion, and it's just like it's for me. I'm just excited to be here. Me and Dr. Faye, we were talking about the different colors in food, and she asked me where I get my inspiration from, and I just said, colors. Colors is everything for me. Once you see it, you should be able to want to eat it.
That's right.
Yeah, the color of the green and the orange. Color is everything for me, and that's where it started from. Dr. Fate's is the stew peas.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Love it. And people love it. They actually come for it too.
Yes.
Wow. Tell us about it.
Well, it's made with pigtails.
Yes.
And it's made with peas. It's a basic dish, basically.
Yes, but it's just so unique.
But the flavors in it makes it very unique.
Yes.
And we also do a lot of caterings, and that's what you're seeing with the shrimp and the plantains with the toppings, and the pepper shrimp and the oxtails. But my customer's favorite dish is the shrimp pasta. It's the rasta pasta.
Okay.
The rasta pasta. It's made with carrots and the penny pasta, and a base sauce of heavy cream with I put a little bit of cheese in mine and some jerk seasoning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Not gonna give away everything.
That's a little spin there. You never know the jerk seasoning part.
You have a picture of the oxtail pasta.
Nice.
So it's the same concept, but we add some more stuff to it. Everyone loves oxtail, and everyone loves the pasta. So the combination makes a big thing.
Yeah.
Just the culture and the people. In New York, it's very different in New York, but it's very the people. I would say the people influence me a lot. Stopping for the pasta. So the address is 267 Southwest Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, 10550. This is our first location. We've been here 4 years. I guess the legacy we would want to leave is to, be different. Be different and don't be afraid to be unique and be yourself.
Right.
So that's how I started this place. Just do something different than the rest of the community is doing, and just to be a light, behind that, to be different.
I just want to say, just come down to the Blue Bamboo Restaurant here in Mount Vernon and come for good food, good fun, and good fellowship.
And we have our spotlight for today. Apostle Faith Walters with Children, A Christmas Story. We all know that we love, love, love the Christmas story. And why not bring your kids out? Bring the family, make it an event. The live event starts Saturday, December 11th. So today from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., where it's right at the Blue Bamboo Restaurant, 267 South 4th Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, 10550. To have your child or children ages 1 through 13 years old be a part of this televised event, please email at support@walmo.org no later than December 9th. So that has been already done. But however, if you want to take part, go to that event, watch it. It is December 11th, today at 11 a.m. to 12:30, right at the Blue Bamboo Restaurant. Again, that is 267 South 14th Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, 10550. As well as don't be afraid to go to her Christmas community outreach drive. She's having community outreach drive December 14th. That is Tuesday, December 14th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. It is at 3456 East 3rd Street, Mount Vernon, New York, 10550. I'll say that again, 3456 East 3rd Street, Mount Vernon, New York, 10550. If you want to reach out to her, send anything, go to P.O. Box 2077, Mount Vernon, New York, 10551. And the phone number is 914-699-2482 or 837-9635. To connect with her, involved with her ministries, go to wamo.org. And again, she has an empowerment for success in the community, and that is of 4 pillars that we have here that she really focuses on. The first pillar is ministry or Bible. Since June 2006, this ministry has been offering Bible education, prayer, fellowship, and worship. We are church without walls, a church for everyone. Her second pillar is outreach. For over 15 years, this ministry has been giving back to the community through its monthly community drives in Mount Vernon, New York. Third pillar is empowerment. Apostle Dr. Faith Walters uses her story, her experience, and lessons to teach self-love and faith to those that need healing. And last but certainly not least, her fourth pillar is community, specifically through media. And it states that through its media network, this ministry reaches millions of people in over 116 countries. So to get involved, to get connected with Dr. Faith Walters, her ministry, and all that she has to offer, go to her website, WAMOE.org. Get connected, get plugged in, and support. And right now, if we could pull up on her screen one more time, because I really want to stress this, everyone, with her community outreach and her Christmas story. Yes. So her Christmas story, again, that is today, 11 a.m. to 12:30. So you're on UME Radio right now. You're listening right when you're done. Head over to the Bamboo Restaurant. It's right there, 267 South 4th Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York. And if you need counseling, if you want to connect with her, if you don't want to go on her website, if you want to use any social media, she is at WAMO Ministries. That's WAMOE Ministries. That is on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. If you feel comfortable to email her, go to support@WAMOE.org. If you need counseling for any means, it is by appointment only. So go to WAMOE.org/counseling. Don't forget, she has a prayer line that is on Monday mornings at 7 a.m. Then to get connected with the prayer line, that is 978-990-5000. Again, that's 978-990-5000. The code is 32903 pound. And she has her weekly services Sundays at 5 p.m. and Wednesdays at 2 p.m. all on wamo.org, WAMOE.org/media.
Are you ready for the weekend?
Weekends on UME Radio. Get the UME Radio app.
Weekends on UME Radio. The sun is up and so are we. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at UME Radio.
UME Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7. Subscribe on YouTube and click the notification bell.
Welcome to Wealth Mindset, a place where there is equal opportunity. A place where you decide, flourish, and commit. Where you have the freedom to be and thrive. Don't just fuel your passion, but walk in truth, in your divine purpose. Reap the rewards God has for you. Join us while we take a look inside the purpose mindset, where we look at business sense, money matters, coins and currency, and checks and balances. We talk about growing your network, net worth, and net income for your family and the community. Let's empower Black families and support UMERadio.com. Don't also forget UDMIBrands.com and FamilyAllTheWay.com.
Good morning. Happy Saturday, beautiful people. Happy holidays as well. Now, it is said that our lives are transformed when our minds are renewed. A wealthy life is therefore the product of a wealthy mindset. The Wealth Mindset Show seeks to renew the mind, which is with proven plans, with proven strategies, principles, and philosophies that will establish the right paradigms for prosperity in all areas of life. With the wealthy mindset, entrepreneurs and wealth seekers will be empowered to activate, to innovate, to create, and to elevate in order to thrive, not just survive. We will inspire people of color to create wealth, to leave an inheritance for their children's children, and a legacy in them. A legacy that creates a brand new generation of wealthy mindsets. Hi there, everyone. My name is Marsha Gay Miles, and welcome to our show, Wealth Mindset. Now, I am a lifestyle engineer and a digital wealth creator. I build businesses online, and I'm also an engineer, vocational training background in engineering. And so I'm all about renewing, restructuring, rebuilding when it comes to success and businesses and wealth, right? So I am doing this all the way here from Kingston, Jamaica. Now, as a leader, as it relates to engineering and even financial education and empowerment, I have identified a common factor. It plagues and attacks the majority of us who seek financial enrichment, who seek wealth. And I dare to say it even rivals financial literacy. And that is, we have a weak wealth mindset, a weak wealth mindset syndrome, right? Now, follow me here. It affects the majority. It affects even me. And it's something we all have to fight to therefore get on the other side of it and create wealth for ourselves. Now, how do you know that you have that syndrome? How do you know that you're plagued with a weak wealth mindset? Well, I'm 100% sure if I were to ask you, don't you know that you should be saving? Don't you know that you should be investing? Don't you know that you shouldn't spend more than you earn? Don't you know that you should manage your money's budget? Every single one of you would say, yes, I already know that. But what we know we're not doing, there's a disconnect, there's a breakdown, and that has a power over us. So therefore, we keep doing different than we know. That's how you know you're plagued with it. That is how you know you have a weak wealth mindset. So that is the purpose of this show. It is here to uncover that, help you realize that there is an issue. You have a problem, and we want to develop and strengthen your mindset. So once your mind is now properly set, it will be set up to create the wealth you desire in every single area of your life. Your success in every area starts right here. So again, welcome to the Wealth Mindset Show. Now, today we're going to talk about the topic of the season, literally. It's Christmas. Happy holidays. But we're going to talk about it in relation to wealth. Christmas consumerism. Christmas consumerism. I'm 100% sure, again, if I were to ask you, aren't you itching to be purchasing more right now? I know I am. I know, I will confess I am. I'm looking online for deals. I'm looking online for sales. I'm preparing to make sure that I have a gift for my husband and my bonus son and my mother and my everybody I want to be gifting the world. Why do we feel that way? Well, it is the most wonderful time of the year. Everything is buzzing. We have these high energies. Everyone is happy. The vibrations are high. And there's a strong buzz of hope and anticipation and expectation. And what we're seeing, and you're seeing this on the screen right now, is that Forbes magazine recently reported that online sales for Black Friday and Thanksgiving reached $14 billion. $14 billion. I'm going to let that sink in a little bit, because we all are contributing to that phenomenal number, and it's not in our pockets. So we have all this high energy happening, and we are desiring to spend. We desire to spend. We are in literally the highest retail season of the year. Sales are here, there, and everywhere. Money spending happening left, right, and center. Now, that article highlighted 14 billion. Here's what you need to know. That is not the best that could have happened. Historically, year after year, the retail sales in this particular season, Thanksgiving to Black Friday, will top the year before. So this is the first year that it did not top. It did not top last year's sales. It did not top 2019 pre-pandemic sales at all. So we're seeing a decline, but still $14 billion were spent. Now, here's what I love about this article, and I love, right? Inverted commas, love. The top concerns in this article that they highlighted were the following. Number one, they don't have as many products to sell. That was a top concern. They don't have as many products to sell. We understand that because of the pandemic, we have a challenge now with the global supply chain. And so there is manufacturing that was impacted. So not as many things were being produced and made, and then getting them shipped across the world, that was a challenge. So because of that, we have back order and things that are stuck, things that we desire. When I say we, meaning the stores, the retailers, right? They can't get what they want to sell to us. So that was a problem. Then the other problem and concern they cited was that because of inflation, so for you to understand, inflation means that the value of your dollar, it's decreasing. So $100 could have purchased maybe 10 things last year, but because inflation has gone up, that same $100 can only purchase 5 things. So your same money value is purchasing less. It has less purchasing power. Inflation has gone up. So the retailers are concerned. And because of that, they couldn't offer you the sweetest deals that they used to. So you remember back before, you would hear things like up to 75% discount, 50% off, 30% off. There was nothing less than 30% in years of past. And today, In recent times, what you're seeing is 15, maybe 20. So they couldn't offer as big of the sales that would have attracted you to purchase even more. I know if I saw 75%, I would have been more inclined personally to purchase more. But then guess what they did? It's called marketing. It's called marketing. They put solutions in place. Okay, Marsha wants that, but we can't get her that product, but we'll get her something close. And they did very well at redirecting us to the things that we would still want. Right? They even put in a few payment options and platforms that allowed us to buy now and pay later. I know I've personally seen it. I'm like, wait, what? I can make 4 payments. I don't need to pay everything up front. Ladies and gentlemen, it is so that you can still spend that money. And guess what? That buy now, pay later option, their revenues are up 422% over the 2019 figures, meaning more persons are choosing the options. And guess what? They're not charging you at all. They're not. If the cost was $100, they say 4 payments of $25. You're not even paying interest. So of course, you're inclined to use it. They're even allowing you to do curbside pickup because persons are concerned of the crowds, with the pandemic and COVID. We don't want to be. So don't worry. We'll deliver it to you at the curbside. They have so smartly allowed for us to still spend that dollar. All I have been asking since I've been reading these articles and seeing these numbers was, but aren't we in a pandemic? Like, that is still my question. Wait, aren't we still in a pandemic? If you've been watching this show, I have covered certain topics. The Great Resignation was a major topic. I've talked about the impact of the pandemic on employment. So people aren't making as much money. People are stretched thin. People don't have a job. How are we still participating in this huge $14 billion of spending? And inflation doesn't just affect the retailers. Inflation also affects us, ladies and gentlemen. They can't give us as big a discount. I understand. But guess what? We also can't spend as much money because we are still participating in the same economy. They can't give the discount, but our money doesn't buy as much. But we're still spending. We're still spending. And aren't we still dealing with the pressures of life? If our $100 can't purchase as much as it did before, it can barely afford the rent, the car note, the insurance, the gas, the petroleum, and it can barely afford putting food in your household. How are we still participating in these $14 billion of retail sales for the Christmas season? You see, we are in an environment that has renewed our minds and created a paradigm that literally encourages us to spend, to consume more than we produce, to buy more than we create, to spend more than we generate. Why exactly can't we shift the narrative? I have nothing against spending. I really don't. Actually, everything I've spent on in this season so far is to create more income for me in 2022. I'm going to confess that. It is to position me to then create more. So far, I'm trying to resist the urge to do the ones that I just want to because I want to, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a battle in our minds. What has us stuck? Why can't we seem to overcome this urge to give in to the Christmas consumerism? Wealth, this is the Wealth Mindset Show. Wealth cannot be created with these kind of habits. It cannot be. Our spending power is less, that we are cutting back on what we're earning, that the cost of living has gone up. Everything has gone up in price, and we're living in this day by day, and we're still contributing to $14 billion. Well, that's why I'm so excited about our interview segment this morning. Our interview segment this morning, I really thought very long and hard about the perfect person that would be able to address this concern. And when I realized that I did have that perfect person, You know, we have been friends for years. We actually attended the same high school, and I've been seeing her do phenomenal things right here in Jamaica. You see, she is a marketing and brand specialist with one of the leading and largest companies in Jamaica. And she even has her personal brand. It's called Brand Resh. Her name is Reshima Kelly Williams. But one thing I will tell you about Reshima is that not only does she understand the business of it all, understand how to push it out there so that we're spending those $14 billion, Reshima, but she herself personally is a very savvy money manager. So, Reshima, I am super excited to have you here because I know you can speak to both sides and help us to navigate this Christmas consumerism. So, welcome to the Wealth Mindset Show, Reshima.
Hi, good morning and happy holidays to everybody who is tuned in. So happy to be here with you, Marsha.
I'm happy to have you. So, we're going to jump right into it. First of all, Reshima, marketing specialist, brand specialist. So that means you know how to get that money out of our pockets, even when we don't have it. Why do we have this culture of just consumerism? Why?
So the first thing I would say is, what is consumerism? And it's important to understand what brands and businesses are trying to achieve. They also take the time to understand who the consumer is, because as a brand, or if you're offering a product or a service, then you need to be satisfying a need. You need to be feeding into a niche, whatever that niche is. So it's important to understand who your target is. I mean, as you said, it's a time of giving. It's Christmas, and we want to give. We want to be in the festivity. And what brands do is play on the fact that we are in a giving mode. We're in a giving mode. We find the things that you want. We find the things that you are interested in, and we find creative ways to market it. We create the need to tell you that you need it. You spoke about it earlier. Why is it that we feel so compelled to spend if we see 75% off, or if we see 30% off? And that's what the Thanksgiving and the Black Friday period does for us too. So it's important that brands take the time to understand their consumers and sell them what they need.
Thank you. If I could just have a trigger every time I'm to swipe the credit card to remind myself, they're doing this to you.
Yeah.
They're doing this. This isn't because you want it. They created it. That's
walk away. Walk
they
away.
Created the environment. They created the need. I thought I had the need.
Exactly. Right. That's exactly what brands do. They create the need. So sometimes you see something and you're like, maybe that could make my life a little bit different. And what also adds to that is the advent of technology. So technology makes a lot of things easier for consumers. So if I see something and it's different and it can make my life easier, I mean, I share with you, I have a smart home. And my husband is a technology specialist. So he delves into everything that is related to technology, and we try all of these things. But he's also a cyber specialist, and he understands the science behind it. And in doing so, it's not just getting technology, because a lot of persons have privacy concerns, but he does extensive research before he installs absolutely anything. But again, it's creating a need. Why do you need a robot cleaner? I mean, if you are a busy person, then having a robot cleaner makes a difference. You can program it when you're sleeping. It can do the cleaning and clean the carpet for you while you're asleep when nobody is in the way. So these things also, so it's important to understand that creating the need for some of these products and services, you may not have thought about it, but it does make a difference.
Powerful, very powerful. All right, so you have created this need, but yet still, fine, all of us are consumers. Everybody, we have that trigger. Got it. But when you look at the statistics, the minorities, people of color, they're the biggest consumers. So we operate in the smallest wealth pie, the smallest piece of the wealth pie, but yet still we spend the most.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's a part of it. I do believe it's marketing, and I think what we would have done is tap into the consumer's mind. And although we have the smallest piece of the pie, as you said, people of color, we like nice things, we like the finer things. We will do what we can in order to get the things that we want. Sometimes not to our benefit, because sometimes persons will spend outside of what they have, which is where our conversation and what you are trying to bring across around wealth mindset,
Yes.
Is where you need to create the balance. But it's very easy for us to do that because it's natural for us. We want to look nice. We like the finer things in life, and we tend to do that sometimes without thought, which is why there's a saying that says that's why the rich will remain rich, because when they have money to do things, they are more likely to use the money to earn more money. When we earn our money, the minute we earn it, we're so happy, we're ready to celebrate that win. And that's our natural response.
Yes.
And we do that without thought sometimes. But I do believe that we are changing the narrative, even using a platform like this, where we're talking about it. And there are a lot of programs, there are a lot of books talking about financial wellness and why it is important, and persons wanting to retire earlier than the average age of retirement, because we also want to live a little bit more and not work all the time.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. And that is so true. As you're speaking, I really thought of that image. And we see those memes ever so often when they compare side by side a true wealthy person, and so happens that the other person is always black, right? In the gold chain and the suits or the fanciness that we know was a ton of money. And then you have a Mark Zuckerberg that has on a t-shirt and jeans and some New Balance sneakers.
Yeah.
He's one of the wealthiest men in the world. So
But
you're right, we do have that pride in our appearance, and that wow.
But I can tell you, the mindset is shifting. The younger generation, from our age group and younger than us, the millennials, the Gen Zs, I share with my circles more often than not that one of the things that I would take from, the Gen Z and the millennials is that they're not afraid to challenge the status quo. They're not afraid to push the envelope. And a lot of them are seeking to be entrepreneurs at a very early stage in their lives versus us who were kind of trained and taught to do a 9 to 5 in corporate.
Yes.
But they're like, I prefer to put in this amount of work for myself. And it is something that I admire about them.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. I too. Well, okay, so Reshima, let's shift now to fully that savvy money management side. I remember you sharing about how your mom was so instrumental in establishing that foundation through her own habits, not even through what she told you. Because, I always say, people listen more to what you do than what you say. So she demonstrated a lifestyle of budgeting, knowing what to do with a dollar and so on. So with all of that being said, can we sincerely have a Merry Christmas on a budget?
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, and you saw it in a post that I made in referring to mom, and you are right. She taught me through doing, because it was never a conversation. And I say it all the time that as babies, we come here as a blank slate. So it is how you are socialized, it is what you are taught that makes the difference. And what I observed my mother doing is always saving, always putting something aside, always preparing, and she was consistent.
Wow.
So in terms of growing up and preparing for back to school, once school closes and she gets the book list, my books were purchased from the earlier part of summer, not in September when everybody is in the back to school mayhem. That was not, and I think I get that level of preparation and thoroughness from her, because I get anxious when I don't feel prepared, or if I don't have the money to do something. So I always prepare. Another thing that she did, which is very traditional to Jamaica, is what we refer to as partner, or for the persons in the global landscape, it's a savings plan that you would have where you put money monthly and then you get a lump sum over a period of time.
Right.
Now, it was important for her to do that so that she could prepare for what is to come. So she always took her payout in preparation for back to school or so any big spend that she had, she prepared for it by doing that. And that is also how she did my college. So I would have done she would have prepared and done student loan for a period of time, but then the final year she said, listen, I don't want you to have all of that money to pay back. So for the final year, I'm going to do this saving and you will have one less year to pay. So it is in observing that I learned that. And I have also taken that on because I now do that for a lot of my friends. And even moving away from where some of them work, they're like, listen, we're not saving with anybody else. I don't care where in the world you are going to be the custodian of my saving. And becoming an adult, and reconnecting and keeping in touch with my friends who are also in that I met in the banking industry, they have encouraged me to continue and to be consistent. So a very close friend of mine, Camille, was who encouraged me to read the book The Secret, which is the magic. And that book, literally, it starts from you being grateful. So it's practicing gratitude and putting things in the atmosphere of what you want for yourself, which includes financial well-being and wellness. But it is important for you to write down these things, to know what your goals are, and to target it, to save towards it. And consistency and preparation is what gets you there.
I'm hearing commitment, consistency, and and first of all, big ups to mommy. Just gonna put that out there. That's a major key. Her demonstration is profound, and I'm so excited about, when you are doing that you're doing it for your peers, probably for your children, whatever the case may be. They're definitely in the right environs. Right. Now, so to wrap up quickly, I don't want to leave without this. Could you share with us your top 3 tips that would help us to curb the overspending and focus on the meaning of this season and still have some fun?
Absolutely. So 1, you need to prepare. So personally, in preparation for Christmas, as I tell you, it's my favorite time of year. And because of that, I know in order to keep myself in check, I need to prepare for it. So I prepare for Christmas because I want to give love, but I also like gifting, and I prepare for that. So I save for it every year and ensure that I'm able to do it. Consistency. Know what it is that you want. Be consistent in what you do. And that's the reason the book Compound Effect also trains the mind to say you don't need to do it in one big go, but do it in small pieces, and it will eventually grow. And that is the compound effect. So it's very important to prepare and to be consistent. And this one may not connect with only financial well-being, but be grateful. Be grateful. Be grateful and keep God at the center of everything that you do, because He helps to direct you. He gives you the direction in any mission that you have for yourself. And once you are grateful and you practice gratitude daily, you will see the difference in your life. I personally use an app called the Gratitude app, and I write in that app every single day what it is that I'm grateful for, even if it is just to be grateful to be alive, because somebody did not wake up this morning.
Brand Resh, thank you so much. Be prepared, be consistent, and be grateful. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right here. Those were phenomenal nuggets generally overall. All the information and the wisdom you shared this morning, I absolutely know it has absolutely renewed someone here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Reshima Kelly Williams, Brand Resh. We can find you where, Reshima?
Brand Resh Kel is my IG handle.
All right, awesome. Brand Resh Kel. Reshima, thank you so much for your time. And the book recommendation. Yes, thank you so much. God bless you. I loved it. Now, the book recommendation from this week is what Reshima mentioned, which is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Ladies and gentlemen, get that book. It's about doing the small things, but eventually those small things compound and have that snowball effect. So, ladies and gentlemen, today was a phenomenal episode of the Wealth Mindset Show. I know you were inspired and impacted. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Click the notification bell so you do not miss this episode. Feel free to share it with your friends so that they can come back and watch this and curb their spending for the Christmas. Always hold your vision, keep your faith, stay in gratitude, and live on purpose. It's your girl, Marsha Gay Miles. You can find me on all social platforms at that handle. And I'll see you next week. And we close right now with a special message from one of our partners here in today's Spotlight. Bye-bye.
Are you ready for the weekend?
Weekends on UME Radio. Get the UME Radio app.
Weekends on UME Radio. The sun is up and so are we. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at UME Radio.
UME Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7. Subscribe on YouTube and click the notification bell.
Love builds us, woven through each of our chakras, its home base, strength of family, breathing life into community. We're not topsoil. Our roots run deep in ancestry. Heal your mind and tell your story.
Hi everyone, welcome to Weekends with Jessie. How are you today? How is everyone doing? How's your weekend? How's your week been? Are you excited for today's show? Because I am certainly excited. So let me tell you what is coming up on today's show. We have My Migration Story Continues. Me, Jessie. We also have our special feature, Gun Violence, and our community health check for today is Give the Gift of Sight Month. So let's get right into it. Here's a little bit more about my story. I hope you continue to enjoy this story and join me on my journey with me as I learn more about my own history and ours as a community. To our viewers who don't know me or have not seen my face, my name's Jesseline Abel, but you guys can call me Jessie for short. And I want to share with you guys a little bit about myself and my journey. And the journey doesn't just stop with today. So my parents come from Guyana. It is a country in South America, though we are culturally we're culturally the same as the Caribbean. It's the only English-speaking country in South America. And I actually went to visit about 5-6 years ago. I went to visit the country, and it brought a little bit of a missing piece as a first generation born American. One feature I hold dear, and it's coming to my mind right now because it's holiday season, is we have a dish called pepper pot, which is basically a meat that is very well seasoned, okay? And based in a sauce, or really not sauce, liquid, really called castrate, which comes from the cassava. And tradition has it that you make it for Christmas, and it's a huge pot, and you have it for Christmas Day. Sometimes people do it Christmas Eve, and kind of like a little bit throughout the Christmas, holiday and into the New Year. So I look forward to it. I know some families cook it enough to where they don't just do it for Christmas. They do it like, special occasion type of thing. But my family, we do it for Christmas.
Now I'm going to go in with my 3 types of meat, and you can use any type of meat you want for this. Some people even like using salted pigtails or salted beef. So I'm going in with goat, lamb, I'm just gonna add in some chopped celery. This is gonna add some more flavor. I'm adding in 2 sticks of cinnamon and a few cloves. Sorry.
Oh, sorry guys, my nose has been itchy. And my allergies have been on very high today. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that, everyone. If you saw that. But yes, the clip video is a clip that we have of pepper pie, and it's absolutely an amazing, amazing dish. So if you have any questions about my story, let me know. What do you think? What do you think? Have you been to Guyana? I know that when I went, if you missed last week's episode, I explained a little bit more detail of how I felt, and a little bit about being a migrant and being a firstborn generation, because you're culturally very similar to your Caribbean, but you're not 100% connected because you weren't born there. However, you don't really feel that you fit in as a true American per se. And American meaning your family has been here, you could trace your ancestry back decades and decades and decades, So let me know how you feel about that. And I talked about it last week's episode. If you missed that, go check that out. But a little other thing about me that you don't know, which is why I very, very stress our community health check this week, is because, and every show of why community health check is a thing, is because I am a health advocate. I work in healthcare, currently going to school in a very specialized niche. And the backstory is it actually starts in a way from my birth. If you don't know, I was preemie, very preemie, 24 weeks, preemie 1 pound 5. And the fact that I am here, I knew from the jump that I am here for a reason, for God's reason. To fulfill his purpose. I knew I wasn't by accident, because doctors thought that, oh, if she survives, she's going to be a vegetable, or, dead, or something to that effect, which is why I am a media advocate promoting community health, because it is very important, especially in the Black community, to know what is going on in our society in regards to health, and even in areas that you may not really think of. Last week we talked about the health crisis in regards to Black mothers, and how the state of California passed a law that would help with the I want to say the right verbiage, but would help with the right medical facilities for Black mothers, because they are dying at a higher rate than white and other ethnicities. So that's a little bit about me, a little bit about me. But let's go into our next segment, which is our special feature of gun violence, youth violence prevention. Now, last week we shared the story of Jonshell Alexander, a young mother of a 1-year-old son who became a victim of gun violence. We will replay the video to remind Jonshell Alexander, former Beast of the Southern Wild, child actor, was killed at 22. So Jonshell Alexander, a one-time child actor who played a supporting role in the 2012 Oscar-nominated film Beast of the Southern Wild, was killed in a weekend shooting in her native Louisiana. She was 22. Police said Alexander and a man was shot inside a vehicle on Saturday in New Orleans, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. The man, whose name was not released, drove to a hospital for treatment. Alexander leaves behind a 1-year-old daughter, CBS affiliate WWL-TV reports. Police confirmed to the Associated Press that Alexander and a man were shot inside a vehicle this weekend, as reported by Entertainment Weekly via their website EW.com. The article reports that Alexander was pronounced dead at the scene, while the man, whose name was not released, was able to drive himself to the hospital for treatment. All right. So, if you heard about, we just played that reclip of John Shell Alexander, and now we're going to go into some highlights of gun violence. So let's start with, what is gun violence? Gun violence is violence committed with the use of firearms, for example, pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, or machine guns. And this comes from our source, amnesty.org. And why are we focusing particularly on the youth violence? According to the CDC, youth violence is a leading cause of death and non-fatal injuries in the United States. And we have a figure here from the CDC that talks about ways to prevent youth violence, both the strategy and the approach. So I'm going to go and dive deep into that. So number one, the strategy is to promote family environments that support healthy development. The approach, you can do early childhood home visitation or parenting skill and family relationship programs. Second strategy, provide quality education early in life. Preschool enrichment with family engagement. 3, strengthen your youth's skills. This is through universal school-based programs. 4, connect youth to caring adults and activities. This is through mentoring programs and after-school programs. 5, create protective community environments. This can be through modifying the physical and social environment, reducing exposure to community level risks, and street outreach and community norm change. We were just speaking about community outreach with Apostle Faith and her ministry. And 6, intervene to lessen harms and prevent future risk. Treatment to lessen the harms of violent exposures, treatment to prevent problem behavior and further involvement in violence, and last but not least, hospital community partnerships. And now let's look at some statistics from gun violence. So how many people die from gun-related violence worldwide? More than 500 people die every year from gun violence. 44% of all homicides globally involve gun violence. And there were 1.4 million firearm-related deaths globally between 2012 and 2016. This also comes from amnesty.org. How many people are injured by gunshots worldwide? An estimated 2,000 people are injured by gunshots every single day. At least 2 million people are living with firearm injuries around the globe. In the US, nearly 134,000 people were shot and injured by firearms in 2017. How many guns are produced every year globally? Listen to this, everyone. There are 8 million new small arms and up to 15 billion with a B rounds of ammunition produced every year. And community violence takes lives and leaves a lasting legacy of trauma. It must be prevented. Homicides and other violent acts are causing substantial harm in communities across the country, especially in racially segregated and high poverty neighborhoods. The physical, emotional, and financial pain from violent cascades from individuals to their families and communities, including children. Community violence is a critical public health problem in the United States. And just before we have a clip to share that features Every Town for Gun Safety, where victims briefly describe their lasting effects of their trauma. I briefly want to tell you this took place when I was very little. I'm not even sure if I was born yet. And my grandmother went back home, and back home I'm meaning Guyana, for a trip. And my dad told me this years later of how there was gun violence that was in the neighborhood, and somehow the bullet shot through our window and through the room where my grandmother was in. Now, according to him, he said that if my grandmother was home at the time and in her room at the time, she would have gotten shot or had an effect due to the ricochet bullet that entered our house. Now, this was according to him. I was not there, and if I was there, I was very, very small. So I have no idea, but I do want to stress that because a lot of people are affected in some type of way by gun violence in their families, whether it be minor or not. And again, how many guns are produced every year globally? There are 8 million new small arms and up to 15 billion rounds of ammunition produced every year. Now, let's get into our clip from Every Town for Gun Safety, where victims briefly describe the lasting effects of their trauma.
If we can survive this, we can survive anything.
As I retell this story, I can feel those emotions rising up in my body again.
I let go of something that I'd been dragging behind me for so long.
I felt stronger than ever.
After years and years of escalating abuse, he started threatening me with a gun that he bought in a bar for $25. And it went off and went through my shoulder and into the wall.
7 years later, I live in this house. It's not even my home anymore. It's my house. Because my son isn't here. He made it a home.
My dad struggled with mental health issues his entire life. When he was 57 years old, he took his life with his shotgun. It was the day after my birthday.
My boyfriend and I got in the car. Before we made it to the stop sign, I heard a loud pop, and I felt something hit my back. My boyfriend kept repeating if I was shot. Are you shot? Are you shot? And I was like, yeah.
When you lose a child, you lose yourself. I didn't want to live. He was my pride and joy.
Grief isn't linear. Sometimes I'm in the car listening to the Beatles. The song will come on and I'll laugh and sing along, and then another time, if it just hits me at the right time, I'll start sobbing.
Ever since that day, I'm afraid to get into a passenger seat. I kept asking myself, why was it me?
It was decades after it had happened that I finally actually told the whole story to somebody, because the stigma, I just didn't want anybody to know.
Am I over it? No. And I'm okay with that. Because it's my truth. It lights a fire under me.
So the community of survivors has become really important to me. Every survivor I talk to, every event that I speak at, it helps.
It's just overwhelming. It's rejoiceful because you have that shoulder to lean on. You're able to be yourself.
All right, everyone. So let's head into our community health check. And today we are focusing on Give the Gift of Sight Month. But before we head into our community health check, I want to go back to our table really quick with the CDC, our prevention table. So right now, again, we're going to talk about the strategies to prevent youth violence and the approach. Promote family environments that support healthy development. This is through early childhood home visitation and parenting skill and family relationship programs. 2, provide quality education early in life. This is preschool enrichment with family engagement. We also have number 3, strengthen youth's skills. This is through universal-based programs. 4, connect youth to caring adults and activities through mentoring programs and after-school programs. 5, create protective community environments. This is through modifying the physical and social environment, reducing exposure to community level risks, and street outreach and community norm challenge. And finally, the last one, 6, intervene to lessen harms and prevent future risk. This is treatment to lessen the harms of violent exposures, treatment to prevent problem behavior and further involvement in violence, and last but not least, hospital community partnerships. And with that being said, let's get into our community health check. All right, and now it's time for Community Health Check. Today we're going to be featuring Give the Gift of Sight Month. With it being the giving season, many of us are gathering presents for our family and friends, but did you know that December is also known as Give the Gift of Sight Month? One of the senses that we may take for granted is our sight. For some people, they were blind from birth, and others may happen gradually or from a traumatic event to the eye. The Gift of Sight Month sheds the importance of eye health, especially in regards to preventing disorders and diagnosing diseases at an early stage. When was the last time you had an eye exam? A major reason why routine exams are important is due to the fact that they can become worse over time, thus impairing vision. In addition, many eye disorders and diseases do not give warning signs. Let's take a look at some stats cited from WHO by daysoftheyear.com. Around the world, there are a minimum of 2.2 billion people who are blind or have a vision impairment. Of these people, at least 1 billion have a visual impairment that could have been prevented or has not been addressed yet. Of these 1 billion, this includes individuals that have a severe or moderate distance vision impairment or blindness that has been caused by a refractive error that has not been addressed. Most people that have vision impairment are over the age of 50 years old. However, there are children that have problems with their vision, which is why it is important to make sure you have routine eye checks irrespective of your age. The main cause for vision impairment around the world are refractive errors that have not been corrected and cataracts. I just happen to be one of the 1 billion people that have a visual impairment due to distance. I've been wearing glasses since I was 4 years old. I know it doesn't look so, but I'm wearing contact lenses right now. And if I didn't wear my contact lenses or glasses, I wouldn't be able to drive. Here's a short clip from Good Morning America with Dr. Robert C. Lehman talking about the importance of eye health.
Eyes just were not made to stare at computer screens for long hours. And if you're someone who has to do that for a living, I suggest the 20-20-20 rule to give your eyes some recovery time. Every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Well, a survey in November from the American Optometric Association's Health Policy Institute showed that 43% of patients that are following chronic conditions had health setbacks due to lack of regular care during the pandemic.
Now, before we go, I'd love to share with you 9 tips to care for your vision. 1. Schedule your routine eye exam. An annual eye exam is the easiest and most cost-effective way to evaluate your eye health, identify vision problems, and detect nearly 30 chronic health conditions. Know your family's eye history. Wear protective eyewear like safety goggles, glasses, and shields when playing sports, doing home repairs, or yard work. Eat healthy foods. This includes dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, collard greens, and fish in high omega-3 fatty acids like salmon, tuna, trout, halibut. Quit smoking or never start. Smoking increases your risk of diseases like macular degeneration and cataracts, and it can harm your optic nerve. Get active. Being physical and active lowers your risk of health conditions that can cause eye health or vision problems like diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. Wear your sunglasses even on cloudy days. Be sure to look for sunglasses that block 99 to 100% of both UVA and UVB radiation. Always wash your hands before handling your contact lenses. And last but not least, give your eyes a rest. Digital eye strain is growing. Try using the 20-20-20 rule throughout the day. Every 20 minutes, look away from the screen and focus about 20 feet in front of you for 20 seconds. That's it for Community Health Check. All right, everyone, I hope you had a great time in today's episode of Weekends with Jessie. And now let's head into our spotlight for today.
The name of my book is Reborn. And Reborn is a story, a personal story about my journey from a place of despair to fulfilling God's purpose in my life. I have gone through a lot of challenges, a lot of, things that happened to me in my childhood all the way to my adulthood. And the Lord impressed on my heart to write my story, to share with others, because, one thing about me, I'm transparent. And I believe when you share your testimony is to help somebody else get out of their situation. Because a lot of us go through a lot of changes, a lot of challenges in life. Especially, I grew up in the church world, a very strict environment, very religious environment. And it had a lot of, stressors in my life. I didn't know who I was as a little girl. I grew up with parents. My father was a pastor, and I was totally lost in this church world. I didn't know who I was, or if I was worth anything, or if I had any type of purpose in life. So my vision about God was so warped because I never thought God loved me the way they presented it. So I was a very lonely young lady. I had a lot of low self-esteem. So I was just really trying to maneuver and to find my way, through life. So it was God who helped me through the process, even though I wasn't focusing on him as much. I want to share something, and chapter 2, page 17, Forsaken. I just want to read a little excerpt of it. And it says, in 1975, as I attended middle school and the family moved to a large 4-bedroom apartment building, was at this situation things began to worsen for me. For instance, I was punished a lot. At times I never understood why. My father never believed that Christians told lies. For instance, if someone from the church would report to him that they saw me somewhere and was doing something wrong, I would deny it. However, I would be told that I was a liar and receive the beating for it. So I became so tired of constantly being blamed and beaten for situations where I didn't have any idea. So I tried harder to be good, but notice each time I tried, it wasn't enough. And I realized that each time I would speak things, my mother would tell me to be quiet. And after a while, she developed a resentment to me. And, so I struggled a lot to be a part of a family. I struggled a lot to be seen. I struggled a lot to be loved. And this book is to help others who are struggling to find out who they are and find out their identity and who they are in God and whose they are, because it's so important to find who you are, you find yourself, because once you know who you are and knows whose you are in God, your life changes, and then you're on a path where you're evolving and growing and building, and you are increasing in self-esteem. And the more you understand yourself, is the better you are how to handle situations in your life, and even handle people, you know, to work with people, and to really learn how to be empathetic, learn how to, you know, reach out in some way, shape, or form, and to be where, you know, can be there in the moment with that person, because you understand where they're coming from, because you see a lot of what they're being challenged with is the same thing that you were dealing with in the past. So when God delivered me, I was able to share this story in order to help others to heal. I'm coming from someplace, a place of darkness, you know. A new me came forth, you know, and I'm like, God, this is a powerful title, you know, because it sends a message, you know, that when God rejuvenates your life, it's like you're you know, into a new person. You're very different, you know. It's like you're starting over again from scratch, you know. It's like, wow, you know, it's a new day, a new dawn, you know. So this title was so fitting for you know, my journey and where I came from.
Hello and welcome to Travel Boss. Yes, we are here again. Another great Saturday morning here in New York, as some would say, the Big Apple. Take it back a little bit, huh? Well, this is Keith, and welcome to our show, Travel Boss. And we've been having a good time. I think I heard in the last segment something about glasses. I think I'm gonna go have my eyes checked real soon, and maybe get some updated ones. You know what I mean? So good to have your eyes checked, and make sure that you can see clearly as you move about this really crazy city here. So welcome again to this segment, and we're here to have a really good time on today's show. We're gonna be talking about some hot deals, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. That's coming up in a little bit. But for now, we're looking at 5 top travel experiences. My top 5 travel experiences. I've had a whole more than 5, a lot more than 5. But these are the ones that I think really stand out in my memory, in my mind. I think about it more so than more often than the others. But yeah, I've had a lot of experiences traveling, and just, you know, just can go for days on different ones that I've had. So this morning, I want to look at how I would say it all began. How it all began. Everything in life has a starting point. You know, think about it. Think about when you have the birth taking place, and you have the meeting of those two different things. The sperm and the egg meet, and then starts the process. And of course, it goes into the embryonic stage, and then the fetus stage, and then the birth, and now you're a grown person. So everything has a beginning. But yes, I do have some very interesting experience. And the first place that I want to share with you guys that I really just, was a big deal for me was Canada. Canada. Canada was one of the places that I really thought was a pivotal point, and it is what pivoted a whole lot of things from there on as far as travel. Now, why this Canada was so interesting to me, why it was so interesting, was that we had a show that we had to do in Canada. It was a major winter fest where you'd have a lot of New Yorkers, East Coast region, and Canadians would come together at a place just across the where you have the Niagara Falls. So the Niagara Falls it separates New York from Canada. All right, almost like half. So you could pretty much, if you had a boat, you could actually sail from Canada right into New York over that that particular waterfall. And but but when we was supposed to go to Canada, this time I was with a band, and the band was called Arise. Now it was a major trip, was a big investment, and so we knew that this was one of our first major investment that we were going to be doing in our music career. And so we got some new equipment, we got speakers and amplifiers. I mean, these speakers were like, I think one of the speakers was like 165 pounds. That's how heavy it was. Yeah, we got sound tech and everything, and so we went to Canada under some advice from someone who one of the leaders, one of the New York State leaders, who knew about these things and said, "Well, guys, this is what it takes, what it is." And again, we talk about investments. When you have a dream, you got to invest, and sometimes that's what it takes. It takes that big investment, and some people risk a lot, but nothing comes without a price. And so you made the investment, and we did our thing. We had just completed our first album, and it was exciting, and the word was getting out, church world and so on and so forth. We had sent some to different people in the church world, leaders, to hear our music, and we are getting a lot of interest. And we went there, and that's when we had one of the most amazing experience. I mean, they loved us, and that set the pace for where we started doing a whole lot of other winter festivals within the church, because they had them in Smoky Mountain, they had them in Texas, they had them in Pennsylvania, they had them in down south. So Canada was like a major stepping stone in travel. Of course, Canada was like, it was cold. Winterfest, the word winter. It was pretty cold. Hey, hi Jess. I see you, Jess. How you doing?
Hey,
Welcome.
I had a question, but you were already
Yes.
talking about it. But you
Yeah.
were just explaining what was Canada like for you. So I wanted to know more about that.
Yes, very clean, very clean, very clean. Boy, very clean and cold, of course. But I enjoyed my time there. We didn't do much excursion, get around, but I did a little walking around the hotel. But it was a major trip because that was when I had my first autographs, and it was like, wow, it was like stars, And it was
Yeah. What part of Canada did you go? Did you go Toronto, Montreal?
I think it was Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was really, 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 really exciting. It was a great memory, I remember we had the responses. The buses they look like that. The buses to me look like regular buses. Those buses look like London buses. Like I said,
Yeah, I love that London.
yeah.
I've been there too. What
Yeah.
did you like about London?
Well, London. When I went to London, London actually, it was actually the weather's very temperamental. I would say,
Mm-hmm.
You get up in the morning and it'd be nice and sunny, and then by 12, it's like it's all muggy and a bit of a little gloomy, it seems, and then with rain,
Yeah.
it would rain, and then it was like, okay, it's hot again. It just, it was very temperamental. We stayed at a family at the time, families at the time. We basically went to one of the largest church there in London. It was called Roac. But London, we went to the market. That's when I went to the market in London. I bought some watches and got some little artifacts, some memorabilia and stuff like that. Did a couple. In fact, I think I went and played tennis one day during that time. So the travel experience there was pretty interesting. And it's funny
Yeah. Did
because
you go to sorry I didn't cut you off. I have a question because I remember a time when I went and
yeah,
London you said is your fourth top? Your
yes,
fourth top?
my five top places. Yes,
Your five top places. So
one of my
London's
top.
like
Yeah,
number 4.
for
Okay.
you, right?
Did you go to Piccadilly?
No, you know what? You know what happened? I went to the pub to play pool a couple of times.
Okay.
Yo, and listen, they smoke a lot in London, more than I imagine. I think at the time when I went to uh to to London, we were banning smoking here in New York, and
Mm.
so when I went there, it was like, oh man, this was like the airport was like a fog city, and everywhere was a smoke and a drink. Even when we went to church, we were given wine. It was a different kind of social construct there. A lot of
Yeah.
wine, in as far as their social events, but uh so we're talking about traveling here. We're talking about my. I'll say this would be my fourth. My first was Canada because the way it started everything. My second would be, I would say, London.
Okay.
Because
Second is London. So top
yeah,
one is
yeah,
Canada,
hmm
two is London.
yeah.
What's your number three spot?
My number three spot would be, I would say, Saint Vincent, Saint Vincent,
Okay.
and the Grenadines. Yeah. So um, again, it was a lot like Jamaica. Very nature wise and just you know sunny and bright. Very lively. You could feel the air, the freshness the air of the place. Very small though, very small.
Mhm.
And it when I think of St. Vincent, I think of a big rock, you know, because most of the driving that we did there, it was like a lot of hills and very narrow roads, scary. Goodness gracious! I give you a fun experience. I mean, there was a time when we're coming home, we're coming from an event, and we saw prisoners on a truck, an open back truck, no handcuffs. They were like loose, free. So we asked them why these guys doing on the back of the truck, and they're jailers. They're supposed to be in prison. So, well, where they gonna run? There's nowhere to run. It was just a funny thing,
Mm.
because it was just like so many hills and precipice and mountainous
Mhm.
roads that the guy that was taking us around, there were like patches of like really smooth road, maybe
Yeah.
200 feet. You would just drive so fast, just for the 200, 400 yards of clean road. Everything was kind of bumpy and kind of, I mean, I'm not sure what it's like
Yeah.
today, how much they have improved today, as far as, getting certain things in their country, upscale and that kind of thing. But back then, when I went there, it was like, wow, but I enjoyed, went to the beaches, and had a good time there. So that's my three, right? So I got three now. So
Mm.
my,
I
my,
just want to preface to the listeners
uh-huh,
that we're counting down.
yes,
So we started with Canada,
uh-huh,
5, London, 4,
uh-huh,
St. Vincent, 3,
uh-huh.
number 2.
So number two right now would be, what did I say? It's a cross between.
You
Uh,
gotta pick one. Gotta pick one.
I'm trying to see. I took a trip to Tennessee. It was in New York. Yeah,
Mm.
well, it was in New York. I mean, from New York. I went to Tennessee. It was a gospel workshop. I think it was titled Gospel Workshop of America. And of course, who's who and whatever the top names as you can think of in the industry that either were there or they had
Mm.
representation there. Tennessee again, very clean, very clean. At least the place I went to, and I had a good time. We actually went to some of the restaurants, and in Tennessee, I tell you one thing though, the burgers, oh my,
Mhm.
humongous. They are so big. Some of these I
Ooh.
mean, huge. It's like one burger is like almost 2 days meal. I'm thinking, who eat
Wow.
these things? So
Did you just hear about what's happening in Tennessee now?
specifically to the food or to the weight.
To the it just highlight today I heard this morning with like the tornadoes that it like hit through Tennessee.
I heard something about that.
Um
Yes, I heard something
it
about
went
that.
like that
Yes.
whole like region Arkansas, and it's
Hmm.
like we have to
Yeah.
be maybe next time you could talk about it because that
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. And those places down there are known for that.
Mhm.
We have seen some very weird weather patterns because as we talk about global warming, I think so much
Yeah.
is going on. And I think a part of it is man made. A lot of it is man error.
and what we're doing to the environment, I believe. But some really strange things going on with with the weather patterns. But downside, particularly, is known for a lot of those things: tornadoes and twisters, and those kind of things. So we pray for those folks, that they're okay, and that they'll be fine, and no lives will be lost. But yes, I'll take New York. We we may we may we may see some stuff here and there, but usually
I'm
we
gonna
don't.
stick to my East Coast.
Yeah,
Somewhere around there.
We don't get a lot of those scary moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we pray for them that they be okay. And what else? So.
And last one, your number one is
So now, when I think about number one, you got to flip it now. So this would be my fifth, but technically we started with five, which is with five as the number one in my mind. So number 5 is for me number one, and if you go down, you see, so that's how I have it.
Gotcha.
But my number one place now, and like I said, it's just there's so many more I have, but these 5 are the ones that kind of stand out. With a trip that I had to Washington. Now it's not very far.
And this is DC or
Washington DC.
Washington DC. Okay.
Yeah, Washington DC. And why it was significant to me, because all these trips weren't necessarily all it wasn't all about the excitement of the trip. It was the nature of the trip and what happened on the trip itself. We were actually flying from a performance here in New York at a park. We rushed out of the park and we went to Washington. We flew to Washington. It was a pending storm. And when we went to the airport, we were the last flight that took off. After our flight took off, we barely made it. We were told there were no more flights coming out. And so, of course, we were in this kind of storm. We really were. And it wasn't a big plane, Jesse. We were flying.
Wow.
And believe you me, it felt like the end of it. That was it. It was over. I mean, the only thing I can probably attribute it to, or maybe even equate it to, is like being on a roller coaster. Now, literally, it felt like we were like being tossed around like a toy box. So everything in the plane flew off: hats, computers, drinks, you name it.
Oh, that's scary.
I mean, it was that scary. And at one point, it felt like we were going down, like this way down. Like, that's it, we're going down.
That's it, yeah.
And some weird way, the plane flipped. And of course, some people were saying, Jesus, screaming out.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. The guy beside me, there was been a book called, I think, something about There's No God, I think. And when they left the plane, no, that was a different words they were saying. They were saying something different, But we got to Washington with a very, very nice trip. When we actually got there and performed, there was a ministers' conference. We met all the ministers who would meet there, as a minister celebration, refresher, workshop and that kind of thing. So we sang for all these ministers. So now all these ministers had churches, right? And all the ministers can afford people to come in their churches. So that was also another great event to have the band as well come to their church, wherever they were. So we ended up going to a lot of different states, Virginia, Texas, Maine, Ohio, because they saw us there and we started getting calls. So that was a very nice trip, nice trip. That trip, I remember being very, very sick, very ill, because I drank cold ice water on an empty stomach. I would advise anybody, don't make that mistake. Don't do that. If you're very hungry, don't drink cold water. And I drank it too fast, too much. I barely made the performance. When I came off, I thought I was going to pass out. I don't know how I survived singing for that time we did on stage. But thank God I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've had some great experiences, some pretty interesting ones. But these stands out for me. Yeah, they stands out for me in my mind. They stand out. And, I reflect on these places, and it's like I can tell my kids about these places, maybe my grandkids someday.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but travel for me, travel means a lot, and folks, and that's why we do here. I take pleasure in offering you ideas and programs and services that can help you with your travel. So we have websites called mytravelwishlist.com, mytravelwishlist.com. And some of you might be thinking about traveling and you're not quite sure to go about it. Maybe you want to maximize your buck, want to get the best deals possible. You can go to mytravelwishlist.com and we have some hot deals, hot deals, Jesse.
Yeah.
That we want to talk about.
I'm going to talk about I'm going to give 3 big hot deals that we have going on at mytravelwishlist.com. And bear with me, guys. I know previous on my show you were talking about eyes, and my contact lenses are
yes
all over the place today. So bear with me. But our first hot deal is don't miss Norwegian's best sale ever. 70% off your second guest plus get 7 free offers from Norwegian. Norwegian Cruise Line is the innovator in cruise travel with a 54-year history of breaking the boundaries of traditional cruising, inviting guests to enjoy a relaxed resort-style cruise vacation on some of the newest and most contemporary ships at sea. Norwegian Cruise Line sails around the globe, offering guests the freedom and flexibility to explore the world on their own time and experience a multitude of dining options, award-winning entertainment, superior guest service, and more across all of this brand's 17 ships. Now, don't miss Norwegian's greatest sale ever. Limited booking only through December 9th. Offer details, get 70% off your second guest, and take all 7 free offers. Open bar, specialty dining, excursions, Wi-Fi, extra guests, third and fourth, airfare for second guest, and $250. Some of the destinations includes Africa, Alaska, Asia, Australia, Bahamas, Bermuda, Canada, Caribbean, Europe, Hawaii, Los Cabos in Mexico, Mexican Riviera, Pacific Coast, Puerto Vallarta, Puerto Vallarta, Salina Cruz, South America, South Pacific, U.S. Virgin Islands, U.S. Cities, Panama Canal, Transatlantic, Trans-Pacific, Greece, Turkey, Israel, Cyprus, Florida, New Zealand, New England, and Northern Europe. Travel dates are now through December 1st, 2022. Book by December 9th, 2021 to save. Our next hot deal for today is Kids Cruise. Yes, I love Kitties Cruise. Free with Holland America Line. Bring the family for free with Holland America Line. And you don't want to miss this opportunity to cruise the sun-blessed Caribbean or Mexico for the holidays or a winter or spring getaway. Even plan your early season Alaska trip with this special offer. For a limited time, kids ages 17 and under cruise free with Holland America Line. This special offer has been extended and now applies bookings made between November 4th and December 9th with kids as a third or fourth guest on select sailings departing November 4th, 2021 through May 31st, 2022.
Wow.
And last, but certainly not least, Cyber Monday sale extended from MCS Cruises. Free balcony upgrades plus kids sail free plus total flexibility with MCS Cruises. For a limited time, book a balcony stateroom for the price of an ocean view and kids sail free with Caribbean and the Bahamas, Mediterranean, and Northern Europe cruises. Plus, with Total Cruise Flex, you have the flexibility to change your booking up to 48 hours prior to departure. Book by December 5th, 2021 to save. Again, this and other deals that you want to take advantage of, you could head right to mytravelwishlist.com to travel, share, and also earn.
Wow. Well, with the last deal, we're so sorry, but that was passed. So we missed that one. But again, we always have new deals coming up. We really always do. So look out for these deals. Go mytravelwishes.com. Thank you so much, Jesse. You did a fantastic job. Letting these folks know what's out there. That is hot, and get it while it's hot, of course. And folks, remember, in travel, there is always documentation. You can get help with that as well. A lot of people they're not sure how to go about that, and so we can help with that. And also keep in mind that we do group. You may have groups. We can work it. We can work on that for you. So we're not limited here. And in fact, some people are looking to earn. You know, the travel industry is $1 trillion industry. So you want to look into that as well. You want to inquire in that. Check us out, and we can help you. You can also earn from travel. All right. So again, Jesse, you know, what could I do without your eyes? What could I do without your eyes?
I don't know what I would do. I have them.
So I'm going to be, I guess, making my first early practice here to go and see an eye doctor and have my eyes checked and see what I need. I know I need reading glasses for sure. I can see very far.
Yeah, I could kind of tell what power you would get, what power would help you. But
yeah, I can see very far, but near I'm like, Lord Almighty, you know.
Yep, you reached it.
Yeah. So, folks, we have arrived close to our end of this show, this segment this weekend, and we thank you for watching, for checking us out. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. So you can get our upcoming shows. We are here to empower, and we're here to just share with you and empower those people who are interested in being empowered, and just become one big happy family. And we grow together, we stay together, and we see our community thrive. Because at the end of the day, we want to thrive, not just survive. So, folks, again, thank you for watching, and see you next time on Travel Boss. Jess, what do you say?
I say thank you guys for supporting us. Thank you for all of our listeners, supporters, viewers from all around the world. Thank you for tuning in for our weekend show on UME Radio. Stay tuned. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and check out our Let's Talk Relationship show coming Monday at 9 p.m. Stay tuned. We love you guys. See you next week. Happy
yes,
holidays.
And to our amazing producer, number one in the business. Thank you. You are the
Do you love to travel? Have you heard about mytravelwishlist.com? My Travel Wishlist, a UDMI travel brand, provides all-inclusive solutions to travelers. We provide 3 key solutions. 1. Travel booking for any occasion, individual or group. 2. Destination weddings, family retreats, and adventures for kids by or partners. And 3. Travel share and earn program. We have a network of travel advisors to help you find the true veil in your travels.
He is one of the owners of mytravelwishlist.com. Greetings, Mr. Morris. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic here. Now, how about you yourself?
I'm great, actually. You're about to tell us a little about mytravelwishlist.com. Our audience would love to know, what is it about?
Well, as you know, travel is an amazing thing. And I was one of those persons who was fortunately had the chance to travel extensively over the years. I was a part of a band, and we did a lot of travel internationally and nationally. And so travel, I think, is a great thing. Expand the mind and give you a sense of how big this world is, and you can imagine more. And I think wealthy people are ones who normally travel. It's called My Travel Wish List. And of course, you know, see, UDMI, travel brand, and it provides all exclusive solutions to travelers, right? So like a one-stop shop, because sometimes traveling can be very stressful, not sure where to go, how to go about it. So we're here to help to navigate that process, so you can have a good starting point in your travel to a good ending point in your travel. So that's pretty much the fundamentals of what it is to give you that experience, where it's not stressful and you feel all burning down, and you walk away saying, hey, I found the right help I needed, and hopefully you can share with others, and so they can have the same experience.
So as
Yeah.
a client myself, maybe I want to use this medium to travel someday. And so I want to know, can I travel to every part of the world, or are there specific destinations?
Well, I'm not sure if you want to go to Iraq right now or Kuwait, but pretty much we can travel everywhere. You're looking at different airlines and hotels. Travel booking for any occasion and any individual or groups. All right, destination weddings, planning, and so we have the networks that's in place to facilitate whatever the needs are. So the travel wish is really saying you come to us and tell us your wish, and like Santa Claus, we make it happen. So it's like what we do, we go to work for you. So what we do, we hear your needs. You're going to convey to us what you want. We can also share some things as well. Once we hear what you want, we're going to be able to offer you different ideas and options that may be comparable to what you want, or pretty much as close to as possible to what you want. So the wish list is saying, I want this, and then we go to work for you, and we be able to present that to you and say, hey, this is where you can go, this is what you can do, and you will get to not only enjoy the experience, but you feel in control of the experience. You feel like you're actually making that decision, and then it'll be more fulfilling to you. So it's an experience that you can enjoy, or we can enjoy together, to make you a happy client.
Our final question to you,
Go right
Mr.
ahead.
Marriott, is what are some of the benefits of booking through My Travel Wishlist?
We want to empower people. All right. So not only can you travel, you can earn from your travel. Why spend? Why not earn? So we can show you those aspects of it, where you can not only save, but become an earner.
Are you ready to travel? Let's go. Log on to www.mytravelwishlist.com for more information.
Are you ready for the weekend?
Weekends on UME Radio. Get the UME Radio app.
Weekends on UME Radio. The sun is up and so are we. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at UME Radio.
UME Radio. Positive entertainment 24/7. Subscribe on YouTube and click the notification bell.